Welcome back to the library, dear wanderers. Today, we're gonna head back to Library Wing 1, the hidden nest, back to the first oak shelf, where we'll pick up the first work we see. This one was brought to the library by RJB_R. Now, without further ado, days gone by. Around the castle, festivities are being drawn up. The tackle boom has been hanging from the battlements, and every crack has been filled with colorful paper wedges. The soldiers are wearing painted armor, with a few having decorated their weapons with amusing tassels made from nearby wildlife. In the center, a pedestal has been set up. It's been built from dark wood and fibrous rope dug up from the castle basement. Standing atop this platform were 10 men, each wearing a different pointy hat. Each hat has an official dangle lassoed to the end, indicative of their important position, the designers of the new year. From the center of Elra Royal Castle, they shout orders with hoarse voices, telling soldiers to add more red balloons to one tree and that the battlements aren't going to paint ritual year circles on themselves. Some of the men are huddled in a corner debating over a piece of owl skin serving as the blueprint. As the night falls on their heads, soldiers begin to rush with a nervous step, the paint on their armor being chipped by clanking joints. They throw boas of sea pigeon feathers over the entrance to each chamber, taking care to make sure the feathers are straight and narrow. The designers of the new year shout orders at every man passing by, cracking their finger point joints like the whips of a slaver. But this time of hurry does not last for an entire night. Soon every nook has been accounted for with cheer, and even the cabbage patches glow with the anticipation of the occasion. The gardeners join the recreating soldiers in the brew hall, clacking glasses together and remembering the year past. Perhaps they would speak of the rebels in the north, or of the disappearing wizard. Perhaps they spilled secrets to one another, ensuring bonds to trust in the darkened chamber. At midnight, the designers will enter the hall, stopping the revelry and leading the castle residents outside. One will stand before them and reach his arms out to the sky. Then the majesty of the fire rockets will present themselves, soaring to the sky with a screech scratching the heavens. The stars themselves pause in their merriment for a moment to look down at the explosions of red, green, blue, and white. The king may come out to address the assembly on the tasks laid before them in the upcoming times. Hope for the future for the realm of Elric. Somewhere in a castle, a clock rolls over. It all starts again. Another glance into the Elrician's world. But we should move on to the next work. This one, a short poem brought to us by Dr. Everett Mann. Now, without further ado, the ending wait. They do not know the sleeping grows in gardens full of serpent dreams and dying men in patient rows. All know it's better than it seems. Edging cracks adorn the air, where the final pattern breaks, for the aching truths laid bare in the bubbling sulphur lakes. Ending days of Byzantine, reflected in the dying stars, and floating in the space between the light that formed their prison bars. From the Prophecies of Herbert Cantor, 1846, first page of the Officius Codex. I do love a lovely little poem. And now for one more work by Dr. Everett Mann before we wrap up today. 81st turn, 7th year. 24th cycle. Skalday. From the Journal of Aphromas Long Journey, Pilgrim, with notes by Avastor, scholar of Eve Library. Skalday, 24th cycle, 7th year, 81st turn. 87th day in the trees. We are no longer on the path. While we walked, we came across strange fruit that had fallen onto the path. The fruits were the size of Torn's head. The tree from which they had dropped was overhanging the path. It had strange, thick bark with stony growths over it. We were coming close when suddenly there was a loud bang and a harsh smell in the air. And a footnote here. Likely the fruit of the petard tree. The fruit of this tree contains several chemicals that are kept separate while the fruit grows on the tree. Once the fruit separates and falls, the barriers between the chemicals break down until they're able to mix. This creates an exothermic reaction that produces large quantities of steam within the fruit. The fruit breaks open explosively, expelling tough seeds like shrapnel, as well as large quantities of insect-repelling smoke. The seeds travel some distance before settling into the soil, where they can produce a new petard tree. Something flashed past my face, and I felt pain in the side of my head, and wetness as blood streamed down the side of my head. There was a great deal of smoke steaming from where the fruit had been. There was another bang, and Torn fell to his knees. I picked him up and ran, stumbling blindly. There were more bangs, and I could hear the vegetation above us tearing and crashing. Leaves and branches fell across my back, and I dared not stay still. By the time I felt we were safe, we were well away from the path. Torn's calf had a nasty gash, but he is able to walk, and aside from the bleeding, my head is fine. However, I am unsure how we will regain the path. Path or no, we will have to continue on. And with that extra glimpse into the world of Avastor and Aphromas Long Journey, we'll wrap up our reading for today. Apologies for the shortness of it, but I had some friends leaving soon, and I paid more attention to them than the readings. Make sure you do the same soon. I'm sure someone's gonna have something happen to them. You're not gonna see them for a bit, or you'll simply forget a little. Either way, thank you very much for coming. Good luck out there, and I hope to see you all next time